Hello, hello, it's Tash and Ro.
Welcome to or welcome back to
It's Saturday,
your personal self-care pod where you can escape the work week and unwind with your two besties.
No matter what day of the week it is, but for us,
It's Saturday. Okay, before we begin, I have to make an apology to the Academy.
Good.
My socks were so dirty in the last episode.
Yo, mine were not good either.
I literally was like, ew, it's because I literally run out. You see, like when we're outside with Nova, I just run on my deck with my socks on. And then the other day I was like, this is disgusting. I need to like throw out all my socks. So
I actually bought new socks this weekend because of that. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I need new socks.
Ew. 'Cause you never look at the bottom of your socks. Like, when are you ever like staring at the bottom of your socks? Like
never.
So if you saw my dirty socks, no, you didn't. And yeah.
Okay, let's start off with how Giggly Squad copied us recently. You sent me something and I was shocked.
Okay, we literally record on Tuesdays usually, and that's when Giggly Squad came out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so I was literally driving home from your house listening to the episode, and then they start talking about the flushing tampon thing, and I screamed at the top of my lungs. I'm like, no, we just talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy, as if like we literally just talked about this.
Same topics. Honestly, I really wish you never told me that information, because now every time like I have to flush my tampon or don't flush my tampon, I'm like, I feel so guilty if I flush it, because now I'm like, well, now I know.
Yeah.
So I feel like a responsibility, but like I still flush it sometimes. I can't.
And I feel like I thought everyone was me, but then we start talking to our girlfriends, and it seems like more people are like you, and I'm the odd one out. And I was just like, I thought this
I'm
was
just saying, I don't know anyone whose plumbing has ever gotten fucked from it.
Okay, we need to like do a survey. Survey says.
Survey says. I don't know, but clearly we're in sync with Paige and Hannah.
Literally,
love that for us.
Love it.
Let's talk about Matt's fucking injury let's like rewind a bit, guys. Yes. So last week I did not play soccer because we have soccer on Thursdays and my race was on Sunday. So I just was being cautious. I just didn't want to injure anything. I didn't want to pull something.
Yep.
So I didn't play. Matt still chose to play because why wouldn't he? You know, everything's going to be fine. And what's really funny is Matt actually left and he took one of the wrong cleats. He took one of his and one of mine. So we actually had to meet in the middle. I went and met to give him the other cleats. He was a little bit late for the game, but he still showed up. Then I get a call like 30 minutes into the game. It's 9:30 p.m. And I mean, you know when you get a call at a point when you're like, I shouldn't be getting a call from this person right now. So I knew something bad happened.
Yeah.
And I answer the phone. I'm like, what happened? And he's like, I think I like fucked up my knee. And I was like, okay, shit, like I'm coming. But then I was like, wait, I can't drive to you because you have a car. So I Ubered to the game. And basically he was like pivoting the ball, like playing around with it, trying to get it away from someone. And then his knee like popped out and then back in. He said it felt like.
Yeah.
And he couldn't put any weight on it. It was all swollen. He has bruising, which means there's something kind of internal going on, which isn't a good sign. Anyway, long story short, after he put in a 10-hour shift at the ER on Saturday, shout out to Free Healthcare, to talk to a doctor for 5 minutes, they think that he tore his ACL.
They think. Yeah. They don't even know they think.
They did an x-ray. So they did an x-ray and it looks like his tibia bone has a bit of a chip in it, which is common with ACL tears. So they think he has an ACL tear, but he had too much swelling for them to really know for sure, or it could be MCL. They told us that they were going to refer him to an osteosurgeon and we get a call in a week or two. I have to say I'm really impressed because Monday we got a call.
Wow.
And we have an appointment tomorrow.
Okay, good.
At the general.
Okay,
so literally
good.
like a few days later. So at first like my faith in the healthcare system was like all time low and now it's kind of coming back up. I'm like, okay, like literally a few days later, like I can't complain at all about that. So we'll see how that goes. He's on crutches right now, which is like super sad because we're doing some really important stuff this week and he he's gonna be on crutches, so that's devastating. But as long as he's healthy for Italy, that's all we really care about.
And I just have to say, so a couple things, because I was at that game and I remember we literally talked about it a few days before. I was like, Tash, don't come to this game. Like, I'm just worried. What if something happens? Like,
honestly, until you said something, I was kind of like, yeah, wait, maybe I shouldn't go. You're right. Like that's
what
a
if
good idea.
What if something happens? And because because he forgot his cleats, he was kind of rushed. And then I remember he got there, the game had already started. I feel like he also just like probably didn't have enough time to like warm up as he normally would, which is I think is really important for like any sport. Important. But also this team we were playing, this team, which I think is really important to the story, because we were getting our asses kicked because this team was like all professionally players. Like they play on club like leagues, like they're all really, really high up players, and their entire teams were subs. So it was like 60% of their team was subs, and they were all like club players. So we were getting our asses kicked, and we were just like, what the hell is going on? And I feel like, when Matt showed up, we were kind of like, Matt, like, let's go. Like, we're getting, like, get in I think it was literally 4-0 at that point, and it had just started. The game had just started, and these guys were like heading in the ball, like doing some crazy like, bicycle kicks. Like it was I felt like I was in a FIFA game, but I was playing like it like but you were what I was literally playing like this lame ass soccer game. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So so I feel like that also has a lot to do with the story, because we were just like, oh my god, what's going on? And I feel like Matt was like trying to do some crazy stuff because we were just like losing so hard.
There was only one guy sub too, and and he said too, he's like I was really tired, and he had the thought like I should sub off, and then he was like, no, I'll wait till the next one. Like I'll just wait a little bit longer. And that's what happened with his last injury when he went mountain biking and he flew over the bicycle and he like fractured his wrist and dislocated his shoulder. Was because literally it was on the last trail and he was so tired and he was like, I should probably stop. And his friend was like, let's do one more. And he's like, okay, fine, like one more. But like, guys, listen to your body. When your body is tired and it's telling you to stop or slow down, listen. Don't do the extra. Just chill.
But he was like he flew up in the air. It was scary, and
I'm glad I wasn't there. I think I was very calm arriving, but I feel like if I was there when it happened, I would have been like,
what the heck's going on?
Like that.
It was crazy. But we're wishing him a speedy recovery. Hopefully it's not what we think it is, and maybe they're just like, hey,
he's
it's
doing
just
pretty
bruised.
Well. He has a cane right now instead of crutches.
Honestly, I will say the cane is pretty gangster.
Cane's pretty cool. It's like I hear him in the house, it's just like walking down the hallway.
I was like, wait, why is this your whole personality now?
He's really leading into it. He's like playing with it. He's like poking me with it. I'm like, okay, simmer down. I'm gonna take the cane away from you, and then you're not gonna be able to do anything.
You're gonna start doing some tricks, like.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna wish him a speedy recovery. I had a little injury as well. It's not as intense as that, but guys, why is your pinky toe such a liability? I feel like sometimes it's not part of your body.
Goes rogue all the time.
I was literally walking. This was the day before soccer. I'm like walking. I have a plate of like 2 plates of food in my hand, walking towards Farzad, and there's this little like stool in our living room. I literally walk right into it. It's still really bruised. Like I literally felt like my pinky toe broke. I was like, I'm in so much pain. Like usually when you stub your toe, you're like, and then you're good. It was like, no, this is lingering pain. I'm like, how am I going to put my cleats on? Like it was a whole thing.
Yeah. You're like, should I even go to soccer? How's it now?
It's okay now. It's a little okay. Bruised, but
no, like stubbing your toe hurts so bad. You know what I always hit is my hip for some reason. Like I just don't give myself enough space around like corners, and then I hit my hip, and I always have like bruised hips. Yeah. Which is like not fun.
That happens to him all the time, especially in soccer. Like he bumps people in soccer. The other day he took his pants off and he has 2 massive bruises like on the sides. I'm like, what have you been doing? Like it literally looked like he was like tortured. He was like, I'm just hitting people in soccer. I'm like, okay.
So, be careful.
Okay, we need to talk about your race because we haven't even gotten there yet.
But. Finally, race weekend came, and I'm going to start with the race expo because I had to go and pick up my bib, which is super exciting. But I didn't take into account that the Saturday was also the Great Glebe Garage sale.
Yes.
So on top of the race expo at Lansdowne, it was just an absolute zoo.
I did not plan that properly. Like
no, apparently too. Like some people were waiting for hours to get their bib. I was like in and out super fast, no wait. But like, okay, so I park far away. I had to walk, but it was beautiful. It was actually a really nice walk. I get in there and I'm expecting to get a bunch of free stuff because I paid $200 to do this race. I didn't even get like a free t-shirt. Like I knew I was going to get the medal, but I'm like, okay, like, well, what else am I going to get? Like,
yeah. What does this come with? A free Big Mac? Like,
yeah, something. So I go, I get my bib, super exciting. It came in like one of those like drawstring bags, which I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. Like, I don't know if I'll ever use this again, but like, thank you. And then they gave me a couple like hydration packages, like little drink thingies.
Liquid IVs.
Yeah, liquid IVs. I got a couple of those. And then they're like, oh, here are like your pins for your bib. And there was like a bunch of pins there. I'm like, oh, can I take a couple extra in case like I like lose one? They're like, yeah, sure. So I took a couple pins.
You're like, can I have 200 pins, please? And then one like, for every dollar I spent.
Yeah, thank you so much. I start walking around and I'm like looking. I'm like, ooh, is this like free? I'm like, no, I have to pay for that. Ooh, is that free? I'm like, no, I have to pay for that. There was literally nothing for free except for those hydration packages. And apparently I was so lucky because when Eduardo went a few hours later, he didn't even get safety pins. He didn't get hydration packages. He didn't get safety pins, probably because I was a bitch and took 3 extra. So there was none left for him. But I'm like, really?
And he like, what?
And he did the marathon.
They're like, here, you get duct tape.
Yeah, literally nothing.
What?
But there was a couple cool stands there. Like I did get a couple of gels and they had like shoes on sale, like no tax. So if you want to just buy like Hoka's, like $180 all in. But then I walked by and I saw like a bunch of clothes and I was like, what is this? And it was like a Plato's Closet little pop-up, just all like athletic stuff. So I was like, oh, so I started looking. I got so much cute stuff
for cheap
for like $20 a piece, $20. I got a nice white tennis skirt from Lulu. Cute. I got a Gymshark white sports bra and then Gymshark black like lounging like athletic shorts.
Love.
$60 all in.
Wow.
I was like, I need to go to Plato's Closet more. Dude, apparently.
I will say there's a Plato's Closet here on Innis and it's so good for, it's not good for dropping off your clothes because if you want to be humbled, go to Plato's Closet and drop off a bag of clothes. And
your
they're like,
stuff is disgusting.
They're like,
here's $1.
Yeah. They're like, we'll buy this like belt off of a shirt. Like they won't buy anything. But for shopping, like if you actually go, because they're so stingy about what they buy, like it's actually good stuff. So
I need to go more often.
Yeah. We should do like a little trip.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was the normal, like if that is the price it would have been at Plato's or if it was cheaper for the race expo, but I'm like,
no, it's cheap.
I'm like, if a sports bra is $18 from Gymshark, I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah. Like it looked brand new. Like there was nothing on it where I was like, there's a stain or like a mark, like a thread. I was like, this is brand new. It's crazy.
No, they have some really good stuff. We should definitely go. Okay, so we need to talk about the actual race. So this was the day before.
This was the day before, and then
that night, did you like eat a bunch of carbs and do a bunch?
So I started carb loading on like Thursday, but Friday night we went out to dinner with Eduardo and Ria because Eduardo was doing the full marathon. We got really good pasta at this cafe in Westboro called Cafe Mio.
Ooh, nice.
I got this fettuccine oceana, which had like mussels and capers and a creamy goat cheese sauce.
Yum.
I fucking fuck with goat cheese.
I love goat cheese.
It was delicious. We had some bruschetta, not bruschetta, guys. Bruschetta. And then we were all just there and we were like, guys, we're literally going to be eating this every day. And it's going to be this is already so good and it's going to be even better. So I was like, oh my
I don't
God,
know if I can eat when I get back from Italy. Like it's gonna be like,
I know.
wait, what is this peasant
like,
food?
This?
No, I saw this TikTok. This girl was like literally like 2 days ago I was in Italy eating the best food and now I'm here eating this fucking sandwich.
There's a Wonder Bread sandwich with some craft dinner.
It was so funny.
Devastating. Like, so yeah, the night before, what did I eat? Oh, I ordered Chinese food because you also wanted to eat a lot of sodium.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be like sweating a lot. So I was like, definitely a lot of sodium in Chinese food. So I got that. And then I was in bed early, had a really good night's sleep, except I had a nightmare.
A runner's nightmare.
A runner's nightmare, which I've never had before. And this is so classic me, like having server nightmares, teaching nightmares, like being late for things nightmares. I'm like, this is so classic me. So I'm literally at the marathon. And then I get there and I forgot my water packs. So I'm like, fuck, I don't have like my water with me. Like, what am I going to do? And then I'm like, whatever, I'll still just run. And then I'm like running the race. And then I look down and I'm not wearing shoes. And I'm just barefoot running this half marathon. And I'm like, oh my God. And I woke up and it was just like, made me think like, what am I going to forget today?
Yes.
Like, Jesus Christ.
The worst kind of feeling too.
Yeah, just like anxiety. And then after that, I woke up. It was 5:50. What time was it? I forget. I woke up like 10 minutes before my alarm and I was like, I'm just going to get up now anyway. I think it was 5:50.
Yeah.
I think I got up at 6 because I had to leave the house around 7:30. So I did my whole like bowls of oats, all that stuff, whatever. And then I was really lucky that my friend Sinead, who sometimes subs for us for soccer, I know her through FISIG, was also doing the half. So we were texting before and I met up with Sinead. So I had like a friend like when I got there. And
which helps with the nerves like a little bit.
It really does, instead of just being alone in this crowd of people. And also Matt dropped me off, which I wasn't too sure if he was going to be able to drop me off. And I didn't think he was going to be able to come at all. His plan was to drop me off and see if like one of our neighbors could maybe bring him close and he could like be there near the finish line or at some point. But I was like, honestly, like I get it if you can't, like it's fine. And like if I can see you at the very end, maybe at least that would be really nice.
Yeah.
So Matt drops me off and I'm thinking like he's gone. The race starts. There's so many people. There's a couple different corrals. Okay. So I was the second one. So like a crowd of people go first and then me and like Sinead and a bunch of people go because we're aiming for like sub 2 hours. And at the beginning, you're like kind of running slow because there's just like so many people in front of you. And then eventually I was just like, you know what? I'm starting to like feel myself a little bit. And like the vibes were just vibing. So I just like started to pick up the pace and was going faster. And Sinead was keeping up with me. And I was running fast, but my heart rate was low. So just like, this feels like so good. I'm like, this is a good pace. I'm going to stick it here. And 2 kilometers in, I just hear someone yell my name and I look over and it's Matt and he's on his crutches with his little like handy cam that he got off Facebook Marketplace. Cute. And I thought he went home. So I was just like so emotional. I was like, no way he like ended up coming. Like,
that's
I'm
so
like,
nice.
I'm going to marry that guy. Like, I freaking love him. Like, he's so sweet. It turned out he ended up finding like a really good parking spot. He was leaving and he was like, I'm just going to turn down this street and see if I can find a spot. And if I can, it's meant to be. And if not, whatever, I'll go home and get someone to bring me back. Yeah. He found a spot. So he stayed like the whole race. He was there.
Oh my God. So nice.
Yeah. So I was running with Sinead for probably like the first 13 kilometers. And then I ended up just like being a little bit faster. So I was kind of like, I gotta go. I was like, I literally gotta go.
It's still a race.
It's still a race. She also was like talking to me. Love you, Sinead. She was talking to me for a little bit, and I was like, I can't waste my energy on like talking. Yeah, like this is not a conversational pace. I'm like, yeah, like like, dude, I'm like, got my music
gotta go.
On. Gotta go. But no, she still crushed it. She got like just under 2 hours. Yeah. But I also saw Nina, my coworker, by Lansdowne. She was there. I saw Heather. She was cheering me on. Got a video of me.
Cute.
She's literally yelling. She's like, Tash Money.
Oh my God.
Go Tash Money. I'm like, when did you learn that was my nickname? That's so funny.
She listens to the pod. She knows.
She listens to the pod. But like, I have to say the crowd had me like emotional. Like I actually almost cried at some points because one, I was getting my period the next day. So I was like so emotional already.
When are we not emotional as women? Yeah. We're like always like.
Also, side note, I was like, wow, I can't believe I ran that when I'm about to get my period. Like that's crazy. But yeah, just like I just was thinking how there's all these volunteers that like make this possible, just standing there like giving out water, giving out gels, like the people that are there like brushing the garbage aside, like the people that come up and set up everything. I was like, this is just all like volunteers. So like all volunteers. It's just like such like community vibes and people cheering you on genuinely that don't even know you, or the people that Nina, Heather, like anyone that came that woke up early just to come and watch me run by for 5 seconds. Yeah. Like so that means so much to me. Like, I know. So then I started getting my feels and I'm like, don't fucking cry right now in the middle of your race. Like you still have like 15 kilometers left. Like don't cry. But yeah, I literally just had the best run I've ever had. I felt so good, so strong, so happy. I was like literally like dancing like while I was running, and Matt saw me at the finish line. And I didn't see him. He's like, I thought you saw me because you were like going like this. So I thought you were like kind of like waving at me. I was like, no, I literally was just vibing. Like I made the perfect playlist. I had it in a specific order to like think of where my mood would be like 30 minutes in, an hour in. Like what did I need for that like last push? A lot of neuro nostalgia, honestly.
Yes.
And yeah, the last 3 kilometers were hot. The sun came out. That was the thing. The weather was perfect. It was overcast. It was chill.
Not too hot.
Not too hot. But the last 3 kilometers were hot. The sun was out. And that was when I started to see people like passed out like on the side with like first aid. I was like, there's this one guy, apparently I didn't see him, but Eduardo told me his nipples were like bleeding so much just from chafing. Just bleeding nipples. Oh no. There was one guy near the start. He was wearing these like light blue shorts and he was in front of me and he was soaking wet in the back. And I was like, I don't think you're sweating that much. I think he pissed himself and just like kept running.
Yeah, because where do you have to go to?
There's some porta potties.
Okay, but then
and
it's
some
like
people
the
like I saw some
time.
people stop to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, are you crazy?
How does it know also, like, with your bib, like, so do you have to sign in somewhere? Like, how does it know when you finish? Because you got like a full report, right?
Yeah. So your bib has like a QR code on it, but you don't have to sign in or anything. It just like activates once you cross
that's so
the
cool.
starting point, and
Okay.
once you cross the finish line, like the technology, there's like this thing on the back of it, like
Yeah.
that is, I don't know, some piece of technology
Yeah.
that like puts it all together.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then the last kilometer, I just like sent it so hard. My heart rate went really high, and I started to like not feel great. But my body felt great. But then the moment I stopped running, I was like, oh, I'm actually really sore. I was just like runner's high, like didn't feel my body, didn't feel my hip at all. And then afterwards, I was like, ooh, I'm a little sore.
Yes.
But it was the best. It was the best
but
day.
you finished it.
I finished it,
You
and
did it, and you did really well.
I crushed my goal. I wanted to do sub 2 hours, a 5:39 pace, and I got an hour and 54 minutes and 2 seconds with a 5:24 pace.
which is so good.
So for my first race, I'm really happy, and now I'm like, I'm itching to do another one. So I think I want to do the Toronto waterfront half marathon in mid-October,
Oh,
and I want to try and PR that half marathon, and then next May I think I want to do the full.
let's go. She's a runner. She's a runner. She's a track
I'm a
star.
track star. It's crazy.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. And we had like a really nice hangout on Sunday. We all came by the pool.
Oh my gosh,
and
she brought me
chill.
flowers and a
It was
cake.
so fun.
Ramar baked some food, or he
it
baked
was
his like
so
famous dessert that he makes. It is like insane.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Also, Matt was saying that when we were hanging out, he was like, man, I can't believe like Bylaw was giving out tickets.
Oh yeah, we ended up actually getting a ticket. Fuck.
Bylaw was giving out tickets on the day of the race. Like people are here
city
running,
is-
like
yeah.
raising money for charity.
Yeah.
And you guys are like using those people to then charge them, like, or people who are just coming to support their, like, this just makes people not want to do things like that. Like, that's really, like, the city should know better.
They should kind of, unless you're like parked like a complete freaking asshole.
Yeah.
Don't give a ticket. Like,
Don't
come
give a ticket because
on.
someone's here for like 2 hours and like
Yeah.
15 minutes over the 2 hours. Like, come
Literally.
on. Like, that's
Super lame.
so lame.
Another thing that was really cool was all the signs that people made. So people made some really funny signs.
I saw a couple on Instagram.
One of them was
funny.
like, you run faster than the government does. Or one of them was, remember you chose this over therapy.
Oh my God. I saw one. It was like, fuck Tinder. What's your Strava?
Yeah,
Like,
it was
so
like
good.
your pace or my
pace.
pace.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like run like your fur baby's watching, and I was just like, oh my God, stop! Don't even mention my fur baby right
Oh my
now.
God,
Like I'm gonna cry.
so good. I heard. Did you hear about the proposal, the marathon proposal?
What?
So this couple ran the marathon together, and
Shut
then
up.
they finished. Like I think the guy finished a bit like faster than the
Yeah.
girl, and then once the girl finished, like the guy was literally got on one knee and proposed, and she said yes at the marathon.
Oh my God!
So
that
that's-
is cute.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is
Stop
cute.
it.
But also, I'd be so so sweaty. I'd be like,
yeah,
"Ah."
I mean, just like great. Like,
Do you have a photographer?
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There actually was a photographer. It's so expensive to buy photos though. So I'm like, oh, I have these something like there's actually some photos I like.
Oh,
But
they put like a watermark on it.
Watermark on it, like right over my face. I'm just like, okay.
Oh.
I'm not buying them for like $50. Like,
No.
But I will say the medal is sick.
Yes.
And like mine's big, but Eduardo, our friend who did the full marathon in sub 4 hours after recovering from a crazy injury last summer, and he was told he shouldn't be running in the next year, and within a year he ran a marathon. So like,
Which is insane.
You're built different, Eduardo. His medal's like double the size of mine. It's so huge, and it's like spinny in the middle. It's sick.
And we were literally at Tasha's place after to like celebrate with people, and this guy doesn't even bring his medal. Like we're all like, "Where's your medal?" And he's like, "I left it at home." I'm like,
I'm like wearing mine. I'm like, I don't know. And I look stupid. I look like a loser.
Oh, these guys are so different than girls. We're like, look what we did. We have to like,
I know.
put it up, like show it off. But
yeah,
that's so nice.
What a great time.
It was so fun.
Yeah, you had a little sporting event though.
Had a little sporting event and
little athlete.
drinking on Saturday. So we did like a little, it was actually like very last minute, but we got like a cornhole game and we have
fun.
spike ball. And then we were kind of like, okay, let's make a tournament. And then it became like, okay, we're doing the beer Olympics. Like it was like from let's play spike ball in the backyard to like now we're forming a beer Olympics. And it was like, you know how we are with
the
our,
whiteboard out.
I pulled the whiteboard out. Then Ashley goes, we're going to wear costumes. I'm like, okay, we don't have costumes, but we'll just wear, like me and Farzad just wore a matching shirt that we had.
It was so funny, your name. Like
it was
the stripe club.
The stripe club.
Yeah, the stripe club. There
but
we
the
go.
E is optional.
Yeah.
So, and we were just wearing like a Adidas shirt, but no, it was really fun. Like we literally just like, we made all these games up. So we played this like game where it was kind of like, I think we played it at the cottage with Kate once. It was flip cup, but we had a balloon that you had to like stack the cups with the balloon and then flip it as well. That game gets you so drunk because you're like really lightheaded because you're blowing up this balloon. Like
your COV max
literally.
is not great.
It was crazy. And then we played spike ball. Spike ball is always a good time. And we played cornhole, but we also like played cornhole in a way where it was called cornhole roulette. So what you do is you play cornhole, but then we had this big dice. Remember from one of our ads that we did that we bought the dice?
Life? Don't kill me.
So we had this big dice and I was like, okay, every time a team loses, the guys have to roll this dice and they have to get a punishment. So we had these list of punishments that they had to, only the guys had to do the punishments.
Only the guys.
And they were all like physical things, like do push-ups, like do this, do that. But it was just funny. So we did
hilarious.
that. And then, it was really fun.
So how did it work? So there's 3 of you. So like, let's say you're playing cornhole. So
it was like
just
2
random,
against 2.
Okay.
And then the other, we all played each other in every game.
Okay.
So then, at the end, it was just like.
And you get a point every time you win.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you play 2 rounds each.
Exactly.
Each
of every game.
That's fun.
Yeah. It was honestly really fun. If we had more people, it would be better because then you could be like these people and then who wins goes to the next round.
I was going to say, can you please do it again?
Yes. 100%. I was like,
and let's do the costumes. Let's go
make
all
it.
out.
Yeah.
So
100%
fun.
we're doing this. I was like, this is so fun. We need to like actually plan it because it was like a very last minute thing. I was like, we're planning this and we're going to do it again when Tash doesn't have a race the next day.
Yeah, literally. I had so much FOMO.
I can't invite her to this because she's going to want to drink and I will be the one who sabotaged her half marathon.
I know. I have the most rubber arm in the world. I would have had like a 3-hour half marathon instead of 1:54.
Okay, let's go into some Showtime because I've been watching a lot of stuff and I want to talk about it. First, I watched Challengers and Civil War. So
give me your review. Let's talk about Challengers.
Okay,
tennis.
so Challengers, very weird movie. Like the plot at the end, like the ending was very strange, but I liked the tennis aspect. I liked the cinematography and like you said, the music of the movie was really good.
Yeah, most of the music. Some scenes are like, what is this song? But yeah, most of the music was super good.
And Zendaya killed it. Like I really believed her character.
Yeah.
It's cool that she played like an older like person with a kid.
It was weird.
You know what I mean?
I was like, wait, you're a mom?
Like that's your kid?
So young. But
yeah,
I guess so. Like she's playing a 30-year-old. Like you're 30. You could have a 5-year-old. That makes sense, or a 4-year-old.
Yeah, the ending was a little bit strange, and the 2 guys they picked like.
They could have picked way better looking guys. But you know what I was thinking?
Yeah.
Maybe Tom Holland was like, okay, I'm going to let you make out with these guys and have this like steamy movie, but these guys cannot be hotter than me.
Yeah, true. And like, I feel like the steamy part wasn't that crazy. Like
It wasn't
like one scene really. Like there wasn't
and
that
it's like
many.
The boys were kissing more than anything. I was kinda like, okay. But I will say like there was that one scene though where like you can literally see Zendaya's boobs.
Yeah. And her butt did look really good.
Yeah.
She looked really good.
Yeah. She looked great.
She's been playing tennis. And it did look like she knew how to play tennis.
Yeah, I know. I feel like Hannah Berner was shitting on her, being like, she's holding it like so wrong and this and that. And I was like, this looks right to me. I don't know.
Only someone who is like so good at tennis would know that. Like I, as a viewer, I've watched tennis and I've watched this and I didn't know the difference. So
it's also so funny seeing people just like looking back and forth during a tennis match.
Oh my God, I'd love to go see a tennis match. Like I don't Grand Open. That would be so fun.
I've never seen one before.
Yeah, that would be so fun. And then Civil War was so crazy. Like they did such a good job with that movie. Like I believed there was a civil war going on in America. Like
it was wild.
The CGI was insane. Like the actors they got were really good. That's the girl who played the main girl in that movie, was the girl from Priscilla. I don't know if you watched that movie.
Like Kristen Dunst?
No, not Kristen Dunst. The girl, the little girl.
Okay,
she's actually not little though.
Okay.
She's 25.
Okay, is she actually 25? Because
Yeah.
she looks like 17 in the movie.
She's 25.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to like literally look her up because I was like,
Priscilla, I don't know what that is.
Priscilla. So it was like Elvis Presley's wife. They made a movie about her.
Oh, and it was her.
That movie's very weird. She played Priscilla. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So like we just watched that movie. So when I saw her, I'm like, where do I know this girl from? Like,
Yeah.
But she looks so different in that movie compared to this. So she's a good actress because I believed her in both roles.
Yes.
And like I didn't recognize her like that much from that role. So it's like, you're a good actor when I can't be like, oh, this is Harry Potter. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like that's not the same guy.
No, that movie was so well done. It was super heavy. Like really just, I don't know. There's some parts I couldn't watch because it was too intense.
It was so intense. And also like we talked about this before, but like literally there was a scene where they're trying to pump gas and they're like, oh, I guess
Yes.
everything's gone up because like the world, like the country's gone to shit. And they're like, okay, well, it's going to be $300, or they're like, oh, we have $300. And then the guy's like, $300 can't even get you like a cheeseburger nowadays because the American dollar so low. And then she goes, 300 Canadian. And I just thought that was so funny because I'm like, imagine the day that like Canadian dollars are worth more.
So I'm like, so I guess we're doing fine up north. I'm like, I guess we're okay up there.
Yeah.
If our money's that good, then we're just hanging
exactly.
out.
We're just hanging out.
We're just hanging out.
You guys are like blowing each other up and we're like, we're good.
We're like, we're okay. No, it was the ending too.
Yeah. Ending was crazy.
Ending was really well done.
I will say though, so A24, the production company that's been killing it recently with all these movies. So they got into a lot of heat for promoting this movie. Okay, so the whole movie, if you don't know what it is, it's essentially there was a civil war in America. And it's all about like the importance of like war photography.
Yeah.
And the people who are playing in the movie are like war photographers who are like following through. But then they're promoting the movie with AI generated photography. So then people were like, what? Like the whole concept of this, like the whole purpose of this movie was like,
because I don't know, like maybe it would have been too controversial to use like to use real war photos. And then it's like, well, do you have like these people's permissions, or it's just kind of like, do you even know who these people are and using it to promote your movie? And these are people like actually dying. So I feel like whatever way they went with this, I feel like people would have shat on
them. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I didn't think of that in that perspective. But yeah, people were just like, what? Like, this is crazy. But it's just crazy now because of now with AI. Like, you really can't tell. Oh my gosh. I saw the picture and I was like, I can't tell this is AI. Like, it just
Matt
looks
sends
real.
me videos all the time. Like, what is it? The Sora, or what's it called? The thing? Like, and he's like, this is AI. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, that's real. And he's like, this is AI generated. I'm like, there's like humans in it and they look so real. Like it's scary.
It's craziness. Yeah. Like anyway. And then if you really want a good show that me and Fires are like addicted to, it's kind of
I have to start this.
It literally reminds me of like not even Last of Us, but we're just so addicted to it, like Last of Us, where we're like, when's the next episode coming? It really reminds me of Interstellar.
Okay.
Because it's called Dark Matter. It's on Apple TV. And it's about like multi-universes and traveling within different realities. Ooh. So it's literally like, like the decisions that you make obviously put you on a different path. Okay. And then if there's other versions of you happening
because you made another decision.
Exactly. And someone was able to like go to these different worlds, and it's really like, you'll love it. You love it.
It's actually crazy to think about that, how like every decision you make, like down to like when you choose to like walk out the door, get into your car and like drive somewhere, can really impact. Like
if Matt was like, oh, I forgot my cleats, I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah.
It was just really sad. It was just really sad.
Or if I was like, I don't want to bring it to you, but I was like, yeah, of course, I'm such a great wife. I'm gonna meet you halfway. Let's go. We met at the church.
It's actually crazy, like every decision that you make. Or if like we just didn't have that hangout after Canada Day, we probably wouldn't have had a podcast because it literally came from that idea. Yeah. Like, it's just insane.
Or like if we never met at like that formal. Yeah. Like if we never crossed paths at that formal, it's like, well, when would we have met again? you know?
It's just crazy. Yeah,
It's
everything.
super
So
weird.
yeah, and this movie or this show really dives into like what the possibilities are, and then it like shows you like, oh my god, this one decision this person made, and like look at their life now, or like crazy.
It kind of isn't that kind of like butterfly effect too?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really want to watch that movie again, but I know it's kind of fucked. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it. But.
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Matter.
Dark Matter.
It makes me think when you said Apple TV and like this kind of like dystopian,
Yes.
like Severance is going to be on soon. It's in June, no?
So literally, it's kind of like that, and
Oh my
like
God.
you'll like it just as much as that. I would say Severance.
I kind of want to watch Severance again before
know.
it comes out again. It was so good. Some people said it's-
Silo is also
Yes,
really good. You
yes,
should
yes,
need to watch
yes.
that. Those two shows, the
Silo, Severance, Dark Matter.
and Dark Matter. I would say these three shows are ones, and like Last of Us, obviously, are ones where we're like, oh my god, like we can't, like what's gonna happen next?
Dude,
like, it's
The Last
crazy.
of Us.
It's crazy.
Ooh,
I know.
wild.
So if you want a good show, guys, I'm gonna add it to the show list.
100%.
And then if you are looking for some garbage TV,
Yes.
the new season of The Kardashians just dropped. Have you seen
So
that?
I haven't seen it yet. Do they do it episode by episode? It's not like the whole season.
No,
dropped?
yeah. Sorry,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna binge that
Yeah.
definitely this weekend.
Yeah, so it's about episode by episode. So the
Yeah.
first episode just came out, and it's just funny because like Scott Disick's in it, and everyone's talking about how he looks like he's on Ozempic, but they weren't sure because he kind of looks like he's also on drugs. Like it was just like kind of scary. And yeah, the first episode he opens his fridge and there's like Ozempic like in his fridge. But people were like, did they do that on purpose?
Yeah. Also, isn't Ozempic a pill? So why is it in the fridge?
No, it's an injection.
Is it? People inject themselves?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
injection.
that's intense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's because it's for diabetes. So yeah,
It's not for you.
dude,
It's
I
an
want to
injection.
know who actually is on Ozempic and who's not.
I
Like,
know.
that's insane.
It's crazy. But so that, and then also they threw a bride or baby shower for Courtney, and she literally has COVID, and it's kind of so sad. In the episode, they literally recreated Disney World for her in like Chris's house, and also they spent so much money on these parties. Like they recreated Disney World, like literally, like probably
Who do they
$300,000.
Who do they even hire to do these things? Like,
There's this one planner they work with, Mindy. They call her Mindy, and she does like everything. She outsources everything. But literally, Courtney's like, yeah, I can't make it, and like her mom's like crying because she's like, look at all these things. Like
put on a mask.
literally.
Go.
So she ended up coming wearing a mask, just like standing in like a corner, but like she didn't get to like enjoy it, you know, which kind of sucks. Yeah.
Oh my god.
She was just sitting on Travis's lap, and she's like, this is actually fine. But you could tell she was just like, this kind of sucks. Like, I can't even like walk around or eat any of the food. Like, they literally had all the food of Disney World literally at their house.
I feel like she must be having her baby soon.
I think did she already have her? She had her baby.
wait,
Rocky.
yeah,
Rocky.
duh.
Yeah.
Okay, Rocky.
She had her
Weird
baby.
name.
But at the baby shower, literally her mom like spoils the name and says, we can't wait to meet baby Rocky. And like, she's like, you just announced my baby name at my baby shower. And everyone was just like, I bet you anything they made everyone sign NDAs as soon as they left.
Sure. For sure. I wonder how many NDAs the Kardashians have made people sign.
Oh my god, they probably have a bunch like printed,
Just
by
ready
the door,
to go.
by the door. They're like, "Hi, welcome."
On
Can you
your way
sign-
out, please sign that. Thank
Yeah,
you so
like all the
much.
workers that they hired for this birthday, like or like for this baby shower, definitely all signed an NDA. Like, there's just no way.
There's no way.
And there was like I don't know if you saw, like there was an Instagram reel that Kylie and her like best friend Stassi posted, and they're just like going and getting in and out and just doing normal things. I think they were just trying to show how normal they are. And it's just funny because literally they're out buying like all this stuff at Erewhon, which is a really expensive like grocery store, and then they're at like
I never even heard of this grocery store.
Yeah, Erewhon is like this really expensive grocery store. It's kind of like Farm Boy here, but like more bougie. They're buying all this stuff, and then literally Stassi goes, and if you wonder who pays for stuff when we go out to like do these kind of stuff, it's me, because Kylie always forgets her wallet. And then literally they show, and Kylie's like, yeah, like da-da-da. So I'm like, this is crazy. Like, you would think like billionaires would pay. I feel like they're just
That's
not
how they
paying.
stay rich.
That's how they say.
They just don't pay for anything.
But they're so used to not paying for things.
yeah,
That like they don't even bring money when they do things.
because they just
Get it for free.
get it for free.
I'm like, is she Venmoing her after? Like, I'd be pissed if I'm going out with my friend who's a billionaire.
Yeah.
And then we're just dropping like hundreds of dollars. And then she's like, oops, I forgot my wallet. I'd be like,
Hopefully she takes her on a bunch of bomb ass trips in
Yeah.
a private jet like all the time and like doesn't charge her for gas or anything like that,
Yeah,
because That's crazy. I can't even imagine being friends with a billionaire.
I know.
Wild.
Crazy.
Okay, let's jump into some random ass shit because it's obviously one of my favorite things. Oh, this is something speaking of private jets, this is so cool. So there's this thing called Bark Air that has officially launched.
Okay.
And it's a private jet company exclusively for dogs and like pets. So like, let's say for example, I follow this fitness influencer named Chrissy Chella, and she's from the UK and she's moving to California, and she just bought a house, and she has this beautiful golden, her name is Buttons. It's like her heart and soul. And Buttons has been staying in the UK with her mom because she like refuses to put Buttons on a plane and like go in the cargo, and because she weighs too much, like she can't just like sit on a lap. So now she's bought Buttons a ticket on this private jet service called Bark Air that is exclusively just for dogs that they want to travel like all around the country if they can't go under the cargo or if you don't want them to. And I'm like, that's so cool.
That's so cool. I wish I could afford me going on a private jet, let alone my dog. I'm like,
imagine.
Also, did Lisa Vanderpump start this company? I feel
that would be very on brand for her.
So, like,
I feel like that's such a good idea.
No, it's such a good idea. I wonder how much they're charging though. Like, where are these dogs going? There's like a bunch of dogs on a. Like,
I don't know. I want to work on that airline. That is
like, good boy.
Like if I was a flight attendant, I'd be like, I need to work on Bark Air because.
I mean, that sounds like the dream. You're just like sitting on the ground and there's all these puppies and dogs. Except for what if they all like they're pooping? Like, how does it work? Like, they're probably they probably tell them like no food and beverage for X amount of hours before.
Something like that.
I'm just like thinking about a bunch of dogs. They probably are in crates, actually. What am I saying? They're not just like out, like walking around.
I think it would be dangerous if they were. Like, we have to wear seatbelts, right? Yeah. So I feel like there must be something similar to that. I'll look into that more. But I'm just like, that is so cool.
That's so cute. Aww.
And then also, speaking of dogs, I read this fact. If you guys have a dog, you need to start feeding your dogs more blueberries because feeding your dogs blueberries can slow down the aging process.
Same with humans, like antioxidants,
right?
Anti-inflammatory. Like, it's so good. Blueberries are so good for you.
So 5 blueberries per 10 pounds can help your dog live a 28 to 35% longer lifespan. So that adds like 2 to 3 years to your dog's life. Stark hates blueberries.
Nova hates blueberries too.
I'm so annoyed.
So I sometimes what I do is like trick her into eating them. I like smush them up and add other stuff.
Okay.
Because like I'm like
just smush them into their food, like
food and add a little yogurt or something.
Yes, yeah.
And she'll eat it.
Like, I'm gonna literally stuff blueberries down your throat because you need to eat them.
It's because they're a little sour. I feel like dogs, anything sour, because like an instinct for a human or like for an animal is like, if something's sour, it's gone bad. Whereas we like sour.
We like the tart.
We like tart. We like sour. Whereas like, yeah, if like they're a little tart, like they're like.
Stark's like so picky with certain things.
Me
like,
too. He
loves cheese. He loves yogurt. But like.
Same with Nova. She's the exact same way.
Like sometimes he'll eat a pepper. Sometimes he won't. Sometimes he'll eat an apple. Sometimes he won't. He'll like put it in his mouth and he literally goes like. And it just like falls out. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Eat your veggies.
Eat your vegetables. Yeah, I know. Some people like they're like walking like with this one YouTuber we used to watch. He was like a gardener and his dog like literally be gardening and he like throw like a carrot at his dog and his dog would just start eating a carrot. I'm like, Nova would never. Like she would just like be like, no.
Yeah. She'd be like, I know you got better stuff.
Yeah, like what do you mean? Like, a carrot?
Come on.
I'm a peasant.
Yeah, where's the good stuff? Where's the good stuff?
Yeah, yogurt and cheese. Like
the cheese
tax, like that is my Roman Empire. Anytime I'm cutting up cheese or eating cheese, I'm like, the cheese tax, the cheese tax. You gotta pay the cheese tax.
So anytime I open, like it's usually in like a Ziploc in the fridge, and like I open up the cheese, and then I just hear like his paws coming, and I'm like, oh shit.
They just know like the sounds of things.
They know.
And if you're like, what are you talking about? There's this video that you have to go watch. It's like called the cheese tax.
Oh my gosh,
cheese tax video. You're like, what the frig are these girls on? No. It's so funny. Oh, my phone's just open and I'm like putting a bunch of emojis on our notes. Oopsies. Okay, also talking about cheese, there is this new trend on TikTok that people are like obsessed with cottage cheese. That's like a thing.
I still am.
Yeah.
I love it.
And now people are making flat bread with cottage cheese, like just with cottage cheese. You like flatten it out. You add some like pepper, like some oregano.
You're not adding it to the bread. You're
making bread out of just cottage cheese. I know it sounds really weird. I haven't made it, so I can't say that it's good. I'm just telling you guys so you can make it and tell me if it's good.
Yeah, you let us know. Let us know. Thank you.
You take some cottage cheese, you like flatten it out on like a baking tray, and then you add like whatever like if you want paprika, like oregano, whatever,
Yeah.
salt and pepper, and then you bake it, and it becomes kind of like a flatbread. It looks like a pita bread, and then you just like add chicken, make like a little wrap. But
Okay.
it's like now instead of bread, you have like a protein packed
Yeah.
little thing. So if it's good, let us know.
Let us know. I would try it. I've been making toast with avocado, cottage cheese, and then I get honey and then like cayenne pepper and make it like a spicy hot honey, and I drizzle it on. So I'm obsessed. It's
Dude,
so
honey
good.
avocado is so underrated. It's so good. Honey
And then
honey on everything. Cottage
with
cheese.
some-
Like
what's it
red
called?
pepper
Some
flakes.
protein? Matt doesn't like honey.
What?
He's like, I don't like honey. I'm like, yes, you do. And he's like,
You
no,
don't
I
like
don't.
sweet?
And then I like heated up some honey because we have like the raw one. I had to put in the microwave, and I like gave him some, and he was like, ew. And I'm like, what do you? Since when do you go ew with honey? Like, what do you mean? He liked the honey at your wedding. I'm like, what's changed in the last 3 years? I don't know.
I don't know,
I
man.
don't know about that one.
Oh, that's weird. That's a red flag. You don't like honey? You don't like sweet?
You don't like sweet deliciousness?
It's like, that's weird.
I don't
I don't know.
Okay, also speaking of food, I saw, do you remember the documentary Super Size Me?
Yes, I've watched it like so many times.
I feel like that was an iconic movie in like middle school, high school. And I remember watching it like in health class. And if you don't know what it is, it was this guy, Morgan Spurlock. He ate McDonald's for every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a month straight. And obviously he like gained a bunch of weight. It just like was really bad for his health.
And he also became addicted to the food, which was another thing that like they tried to show that like it's not only bad for you, but it is addictive.
Yes.
And it also just showed too, like I remember that movie was really impactful because like it just showed like the demographic they were trying to target with like all kids and like the whole McDonald's and all these other places, like bring your kids, look, we have like areas for them to hang out.
Yeah, the playpens.
The playpens, like, oh, we have like toys we can give them. Like
Yeah.
it just like lured them in, you know?
It also showed like a burger and fry just like left out to see like how it would like decompose versus like beef you would buy at the store and like fries you made like from potatoes, like yourself,
Real
from real
fries?
potatoes. And obviously the real food, quote unquote, the real food like started to decompose very quickly, whereas the burger and fry from McDonald's, it was like a month later and it like looked almost the
It looked
same.
new. And it's the same with their ice cream. Like if you have an ice cream, it like doesn't melt. It's the same thing as like with doing drumsticks. It's really weird.
Don't tell me that because right now hot fudge sundaes are $2.
I'll still eat it though, you know what I mean? But it's like,
but not for breakfast, lunch,
No.
and dinner. Anyway, all this to say, Morgan Spurlock, he actually died at age 53 from cancer complications. And a lot of people are kind of like speculating, like, did eating McDonald's for that month straight like set him up for disaster? Like, is that like related to it? Like, that's pretty young, like 53. And he did
what kind of cancer was it? Do you know?
Oh,
I'll have
I
to
don't
look it
remember.
up.
I'll have to look it up.
Because that's like it sounds like something like that probably happened and fast, like a prostate cancer. Was it like colon
Morgan
cancer?
Spurlock cancer.
That's crazy though. Yeah, that movie. Oh, and I remember he had like a wife and she was like vegan and like super.
He did?
Yeah. He was like, well, a girlfriend in the movie, and then she was like literally like opposite, like healthy, vegan, and she was like, this like kills me to watch him do this to himself and blah, blah,
That's so sad. Yeah, it's just saying cancer complications. I can't find out what kind of cancer. It's not saying what Spurlock cancer type. It says,
That's crazy.
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they didn't release it like the family or something, like, or maybe he had a like surgery or something. Like, that's crazy though.
Yeah, really sad. Yeah.
I feel like that's like that movie was like, yeah, really big in our generation, especially.
Yeah, when did that movie come out? I also want to see.
It was like 2005 or 4. 5 or 4.
2004. So I was
2004,
13.
yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I bet you a lot of people are going to watch it again now that
Yeah.
he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought that was kind of random. On a lighter note, speaking of like movies and documentaries, you know, the house from Home Alone,
Yes.
the like amazing, big,
Yes.
beautiful home is on sale now. If you guys want to buy it,
Stop.
yeah, it's $5.5 million.
Where is it?
It's somewhere in the States,
States,
newly
right?
renovated,
New Jersey or something.
Yeah, somewhere like Midwest. 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, has a movie theater, has a basketball court. Like, this is like a fucking mansion.
Sorry, what? So it got if someone bought it,
Oh, it's
did it.
renovated.
Oh, okay.
It's stunning, gorgeous. I'll post the Instagram post I saw that shows like the before, like what it was like in the 90s versus like what it looks like now. It's stunning. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous home.
Ugh, I love like sometimes me and Faisal will just be like, go have wine nights, and we're on Zillow in like random places in the world. Like we'll just go to like, I don't know, like Austin, Texas, and we're like, what can like this much money get us here?
Okay,
and we'll just like look around and we'll be like, damn, we could get this or the same amount as our house.
So ready to move to Austin, Texas with the squad whenever. Like,
no, literally, imagine we all decided to move to Austin, Texas. Like how much of a
sold
flex
our houses,
we would be able to get a mansion,
way bigger houses.
Yeah.
I mean, you already live in a mansion though. I don't know. Do you really want to leave? But you could live in an even bigger mansion.
A bigger mansion. We can, and it will be warm all the time.
Yeah, no more winters. Austin is a very like fit like community too.
Yes.
Like it's very like health and wellness. Like people are running, doing sports. Like, but then we live in a red state, and like that's really scary.
And that's also because I just don't agree with like the
and then we live in America,
and then we live in America,
which is also America, which I'm not a huge fan.
Not a huge fan.
So I don't know.
There could be a civil war. We don't know.
Literally. But we could have our own little community, like a what's it called? Compound?
Yeah,
No.
like a
what's it called?
yeah, like a cult.
Yeah, we can have our own cult.
We can have a cult.
Yeah, that's basically what it would be.
Oh my god. Also, speaking of like, I don't know. Speaking of things.
Speaking of things we're speaking of.
We're just going speaking of. And I'm like, speaking of, I don't know. I saw actually Hannah sent me this like video on Snapchat, and it was like talking about, I actually don't know, you know, sometimes you get these videos on Snapchat and it was like a whole like news outlet thing. I'd never seen them before, but I was like, oh damn, this is kind of cool. I forget like who actually did the news like broadcasting, but he was really well spoken, and essentially he was just talking about how Canadians and like people around the world are just wanting fewer kids, and it's like becoming kind of an issue. Like the birth rate is actually dropping, and he was talking about how now like they did a survey looking at the number of women who were over the age of 50 without kids.
Oh wow.
And the numbers are rising like exponentially, and before it was like when they did a survey asking like, do you want kids? Yes, no, not sure. The number that was before no was about 7%. This I think was in 2015. They recently did this survey for StatsCan again, and it's now gone up to 35%.
Oh wow, that's high.
That don't want kids. Like they're just not even unsure. They just said
like,
straight
no,
up
good.
no. So like it's kind of crazy. Like we hear about it like, oh, people are having kids later, but then some people are just not having kids.
Yeah, I actually know
crazy.
a decent amount of couples that like are recently married, and then you just like kind of ask the question like, oh, like thinking you guys like having a kid soon, or like what do you want to do? And it's like, no, we actually don't want kids. And at first you're kind of like, oh. Then you're like, okay, yeah, like sick. Like you're probably going to travel. You're probably going to save so much money. You're probably going to have so much sleep. Like,
yeah. You're probably going to love each other so much more.
You're going to fight way less.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I know a decent amount of people that just don't want kids.
You know what I will say is that I think before it was just a norm. Like you get married, you have kids. Yeah. And I think it's kind of good now that if people only have kids if they really want kids.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you don't really want them, then don't have them.
Because I will say the people who are like kind of like, I'm not sure if I want kids, or like I don't want kids, but I feel like I'm forced to have kids.
Yeah, those are what you do.
Those are people who become bad parents because they don't really want they didn't
then
want
you kind of
these
resent
kids.
them.
Yes.
You're kind of like, oh, I didn't even want you, and now like my life revolves around you.
And then all this trauma happens with like raising your kids, and then your kids carry that trauma, and then it's like all this stuff. So like you should really have kids if you really want kids. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So.
I also feel sad too, because I feel like often too the people that really do want kids struggle to have kids, which is like so sad.
That's another thing that I feel like people don't talk about at all.
Matt and I have like talked briefly. We're like I asked him, like, do you think like if for some reason we can't have kids, like we would still have like a fulfilled like and happy life, like you, me, and like dogs? And he was like, yeah, but like if we can't have kids, like we can adopt. And I was like, yeah, that is factual. We could definitely still do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I would want to adopt.
I know,
but
I think that's a huge like thing. Yeah, you definitely need to like, because honestly, like it's something we should like we all have to talk about, and like women are having fertility issues. And I don't know if it's now we're just seeing it more and that's what's happening, or if there's actually a rise in this stuff, or if we're just exposed to it now.
I think we're exposed to it more too through social media.
But I just feel like, like a lot of people are having these issues, and I think it's really important to, like, there was an episode of Call Her Daddy that just came out, and she was talking
with Lauren.
and she was like, it's go to your gyno, go get checkups, go get your yearly paps, like just make sure you're like checking up on your body. And
if you don't, no one else will.
Exactly. So
get checked.
Checked.
We're gonna end with the episode with that, guys.
Yeah.
If you're a woman, a man, go get your checkup.
Yeah.
And check in on yourself and make sure you're all good.
Exactly.
Okay. We love you guys.
We love you guys.
Happy freaking Saturday. I hope the sun is shining. I hope you're listening to this with like a bottle of wine on the chiller,
or you're going on a run.
You're going on a run, Eduardo. We see you.
We see you.
And we love you guys.
Okay, we love you.
Bye.
Bye.